Hi, today I'm going to demo a test framework called RestAssured, which kind of works with Java, TestNg, and Maven, and how you can run that with AWS and Jenkins. So I'm going to quickly show some of the things that needs to be configured before we actually execute the test. So the first thing that I want to show you is the AWS configuration. So what I've done is I have launched a EC2 instance, and that's let me kind of minimize this a little bit so that you can see this is the Jenkins server. So this is a straightforward EC2 instance that gets launched through AWS, and then all that I have is pretty much all the configurations or the settings are the same. The only thing that I want to showcase here is the inbound rules. The default is port 22. I've exposed it to 8080 for Jenkins. 8090 is for another project for Tomcat, but I could have put it in a separate security group, but for simplicity's sake, I just put both of them into the same security group. You can add as many ports that you want to expose to. So for Jenkins, I have 8080, and of course this creates a PEM key that which connects your machine to AWS. So that's the piece for AWS. The next thing I wanted to show you was the code itself, the code base. So this is Java, TestNg, Maven, and RestAssured. The libraries are in the POM XML, and Maven builds the dependencies for these libraries. The two APIs that I'm going to test is it's pretty much a weather map API, which is open to the public, and I'm just trying to test the weather of London and Los Angeles. So that's pretty much a very simple test that I'm executing here. So it basically runs through as a BDD that's given when and then, and you kind of get a response object after this API is executed, and then you're just asserting the value that comes back. In this case, I'm doing it for the weather condition and city name, and you can assert as many fields that you want, but for simplicity's sake, I'm just asserting these two values. And then I'm just going to show you if we can run this locally and see what happens. So I think the weather would have changed, and that's why the test failed. But that's a good way to show that RestAssured does its job of doing the actual test and seeing if the values have changed or not. So let's run this. As you see, as it executes, yeah, you're right. So the things changed. The weather in Los Angeles is no more over broken clouds, but it is overcast cloud. So I need to change that. So from broken clouds, I'm just changing it to overcast clouds. Spelling right. So let's do that. And just going to run it again, just to make sure our changes gets executed. The cool thing is the APIs run pretty fast, so not like UI where the browser has to render and things like that. So here we go. The test passed. Now I need to connect to the Jenkins server. So let me open my terminal. Actually, it's already done, but we can just let me show you what I mean by that. So I'm just going to exit out from the server. So you need to connect your machine into EC2 to run some services. So what I'm doing is I'm SSHing into Jenkins, and like you can see, I'm using the IP address that we saw. This is the IP address that I'm using, the public IP address, and I'm SSHing into the EC2 instance. So let me do that real quick. So I've logged into the EC2 instance. I'm just going to be in sudo. I see that means I'm under root so that I can do certain operations. So now if I think I've already started the Jenkins server. So let me stop this first just to show you that you have to run the service for Jenkins to be launched on the browser. So I've stopped Jenkins, and then I'm just going to bring the browser in here so that you can take a look at it. So I'm just going to copy the IP address, and I'm exposed to port 8080, and if I run it, I'm not connected because I haven't started the service. So let's go back and start the service. So I started the service now. Even if I go back in here, right here, and then reload the page, it's going to start. Yeah, so here we go. It started Jenkins. Yes, so and this is the job that I configured. So I have a few plugins that I've used, which I wanted to run by real quick. So I have a Git plugin, and then I have a Maven plugin. These are the two plugins that I added. And then I'm using PolSCM, which basically triggers the job every minute. So this is something with cron, where if you have 5 asterisks, it pretty much says that it's going to look for your trigger every minute. So that's the configuration that I have here. But other than that, this is my GitHub, and it is listening to master. So, and then I'm running my Maven command here. So this is pretty much for configuration. So let's go back so that and stay here. And now the change that I made on I need to push that up into GitHub. So I'm just going to see if I can, yeah, there you go. This is the file that I changed. So if I look at it really quick, yes, that's the change. So that's the change that's getting pushed up, and I'm going to do that now. Okay. Pushing change for demo. Okay, and then I'm going to do push origin master. I'm pushing it up to master, and now if I go back in and see, you'll see that this job will get triggered on Jenkins. So it just waits for 30 seconds to a minute for the job to get triggered. So I just pushed it, and it should come in here soon. So let's see. Yeah, it got pushed. It should be here soon. So there you go. The job just got triggered, and it's going to run now. Yes, it started running. And if you look, the console output, the job started running, and here's my change demo. It worked fine. Thank you.